Thank you for coming together on this interfaith call for care and resilience in celebration of the 50th anniversary of Earth Day. I'm Reverend Fletcher Harper, Executive Director of Green Faith, a global interfaith environmental and climate justice network. This is a frightening time. We are in a global crisis that most of us have never experienced. We're scared for our loved ones and our communities and for everyone who's vulnerable now. We also know that the crisis caused by the coronavirus is similar to what will happen as the impacts of climate change become more widespread. Faith and spirituality matter in times like these. They are an anchor, a source of energy and perseverance that keeps us going when times are hardest. We know that at this moment we need to turn towards each other, as all our faiths teach us. All religions demand that we love our neighbor, open the door to the stranger, and protect and care for those most vulnerable. Today, we're coming together as people of diverse faiths to build the power we need to create a world rooted in love, justice, and compassion, to prepare us not just for what's happening today, but for what's to come. I'm lighting this candle as a sign of hope at the beginning of our time together, remembering that there is light still in this time of uncertainty. Let's now take a moment to offer a silent prayer for the earth and our human family, for the strength and courage to rise for a loving, compassionate, and just future. Today, several remarkable leaders will help us understand even more deeply that the earth and all people are sacred. Our first speaker is Benki Piaco, an Ashaninka leader from the Brazilian Amazon, internationally renowned for fighting against illegal logging and violent human rights abuses. Benki speaks to us by video from the heart of his people's land. Because of an internet outage in his community, he traveled many miles to make sure that we received this message.
Meu nome é Benki Pianco, sou do povo Ashaninka, moro aqui no estado do Acre, na fronteira do Brasil com o Peru. Acredito que tudo o que vem acontecendo na Terra é um chamado de atenção para a humanidade. Nas minhas observações, como uma pessoa que hoje vem lutando pelo direito da sobrevivência, tanto da natureza quanto do homem, em busca de uma qualidade de vida, de um respaldo melhor para a sobrevivência da sociedade, nós estamos aqui fazendo uma análise que traz essa análise sobre mim para o mundo, olhando o mundo. Sabemos que hoje tudo o que vem acontecendo no planeta Terra é uma destruição, é uma catástrofe que vem surgindo a partir do homem, a partir do que o homem faz com a natureza. Estamos vendo a Terra, a maneira que ela está sendo contaminada, destruída. Nós estamos vendo a maneira que as florestas, as águas, né, os animais, toda a diversidade que a gente vê em cima dessa Terra, a maneira que estão sendo violadas. Nós, seres humanos, que estamos passando por esse processo hoje de um chamado, né, de um chamado que seja visto por todos que vivem em cima dessa Terra, a maneira que o homem destrói a natureza. E esse chamado está sendo feito a partir dessas doenças que estão surgindo. Doenças que hoje vêm matando gente, vêm matando animais, secas, né, que vêm acontecendo em muitos lugares do mundo, queimadas que vêm acontecendo, a poluição do tempo por essas grandes indústrias, as emissões que hoje está fazendo uma grande contaminação no planeta. Tudo isso que vem acontecendo faz parte daquilo que o ser humano se produz para viver bem. Eu não sei que felicidade vai trazer tanto dinheiro, mas é um meio de vida que as pessoas têm. Eu acho que esse chamado que essa doença traz para um pouco ser pensada por nós mesmos, começou agora. E eu já venho olhando isso junto com nossos povos indígenas há muito tempo. Meus avós já falavam desse problema, que a terra sem floresta não tem vida, a terra sem água não tem vida. Vai ser um deserto, uma floresta dessa que a gente vive hoje. A gente já vê o impacto que ocorre quando a gente olha para tudo que é capim, para tudo quanto é lado. Olhando para isso que nossos avós falavam, nossos pais, nossos tios, nossos bisavós, deixaram para a gente um legado de responsabilidade. E eu acredito que essa responsabilidade estamos chamando ao mundo. Eu vejo tantas pessoas falar de religiões, as religiões que educam a sociedade a se encontrar com o Espírito de Deus, que espírito estão se conectando. Quando a gente olha que as pessoas apenas têm uma imaginação ou sua palavra, apenas que falam, vamos se encontrar com Deus. O que é Deus? Paua, Tassorense, todos esses grandes espíritos que criaram o universo. A gente olha, hoje, tudo isso que foi deixado para nós está sendo destruído. Os povos indígenas vêm trazendo essa mensagem para o mundo o tempo inteiro. Então hoje a gente vê que as religiões hoje começam a se juntar. Já era para ter se juntado desde o começo da história do mundo. Eu acho que agora é um chamado que está vindo diretamente, não só para as religiões, mas para todos os seres humanos da Terra. Cada uma pessoa que sabe o que bebe e o que come cada dia, essas pessoas estão começando a sentir na pele, na sua alimentação, na sua respiração, nos seus pensamentos. Estão começando a ver que é realmente um buraco que todo mundo está entrando dentro com essa grande doença que a Terra está recebendo a partir da nossa vivência. Então quero assim dizer para o mundo inteiro, para os governantes de nosso país, que hoje trabalham para evoluir uma ciência ou criar uma evolução econômica do desenvolvimento econômico, como a gente vê. O que vem acontecendo com o petróleo, a gente vê o que vem acontecendo com esses bancos, a gente vê o que vem acontecendo com cada uma desses grandes financiadores. Empreendimentos que são importantes de recuperar a terra, a gente vê ficar para trás e a gente vê os financiamentos apoiando a destruição da terra. Chegou a hora de mudar isso. Não é mais esperar. Vamos esperar por quem? É nós que temos que assumir esses erros que vêm acontecendo na Terra. Esses governantes têm que assumir esses erros. Não tem que pensar só no desenvolvimento, na destruição, destruindo o planeta Terra. Nós temos que pensar de outra maneira. Trabalhar junto, ouvir a sociedade, o que é mais importante para a sobrevivência humana e para o equilíbrio do planeta. Eu acho que chegou a hora. Então aqui deixo essa mensagem trazendo para todos os povos do mundo. Vamos começar a mudar, a recuperar. Estou plantando aqui mais de 10 milhões de árvores, desde criança, sem cansar até hoje. Não é para acudir o bem ou cuidar do bem que essas plantas. É para dar ao planeta, pelo menos, mais uma esperança de dizer que nós somos capazes de mudar o mundo. Porque esse mundo que nós estamos querendo mudar tem que começar de nós mesmos. Esse mundo está dentro de nós, das nossas mentes, do nosso coração, da nossa inspiração. É isso que nós estamos fazendo aqui para a gente poder levar essa mensagem para o mundo. E esperamos que esses governantes, esses bancos, todas essas grandes empresas do mundo possam olhar para o que já foi destruído e como deve apoiar. Hoje os povos indígenas, que são os povos hoje os maiores defensores da terra, o que tem falado que a terra sem floresta, sem os animais, sem essa diversidade não existe terra, não existe vida nas terras. E nós estamos conseguindo colocar isso para o mundo. E a gente está vendo ainda as agressões que os povos indígenas estão levando. As agressões que essas grandes lideranças têm falado para o mundo estão levando. São o suicídio, a morte, que tem levado à destruição desses povos. Tudo por conta de dinheiro, de destruição, de tirar ouro, minério de tudo da terra. De tirar as florestas, é o que mais a gente tem defendido. Quero aqui dizer, se ajunte a nós, vamos defender esse mundo, começando de nós.
Let's pause for a moment of contemplation. And now for a response to the climate crisis from Judaism, the most ancient of the Abrahamic religions, and the tradition which gave the concept of social justice to the world. Rabbi Jenny Rosen.
We are living in such a dark and frightening time in human history. And yet there have been other times many of our peoples have lived through threat of annihilation. The Jewish community just celebrated Passover, the journey out of Mitzrayim, Egypt, or literally a narrow place. While wandering in the desert, God reminds us that the path forward is not in the heavens or beyond our reach. Lo b'shamayim hi. No, it is very close to you, God says, in your mouth and in your heart to do it. Our redemption is in our hands. In the face of the climate crisis, I return to this passage again and again and gather strength. Lo b'shamayim hi, it is not in heaven or beyond our reach. It is in our heart and in our hands, and we can do it. In our hands, as in it is on us, it is up to us. And also in our hands, we have the capacity, we have the science, we have the resources, we have the people, and we have the power. As we celebrate Earth Day this year, let us remember this. It is in our hands and in our hearts, and we can do it. Let us choose life so we and our offspring may live.
Swami Dayananda is a senior Hindu monk at Sachidananda Ashram in Yogaville, Virginia, where she is leading opposition to the Atlantic Coast Pipeline. Swami Dayananda.
Thank you, Reverend Fletcher. Greetings of love and peace to all. In honor of Earth Day, I'll begin with Sanskrit mantra from Hindu tradition, invoking the blessing of Goddess of Earth, Bhuvaneshwari. Let us feel the power of Mother Earth and offer our love, reverence, and gratitude to her. I will repeat the mantra 3 times. Om Hrim Bhuvaneshwariye Namah. Om Hrim Bhuvaneshwariye Namah. Om Hrim Bhuvaneshwariye Namah. Hari Om. Today I'd like to share a little of the teachings of ancient Hinduism and modern indigo yoga, the teachings that were indigo yoga founded by Sri Swami Sachidananda, and how I base my climate activism on these teachings, especially during this double crisis of coronavirus and climate issues. And I will focus on non-violence and bhakti yoga, love and devotion to God, and karma yoga, service, selfless service. So since 1983, I've lived in Yogaville, which is located in Buckingham County in the rural area of Virginia. In 2014, a natural gas pipeline was proposed to come through Virginia, very close to our community. Since then, I have been serving with Yogaville Environmental Solutions and Light of Truth Universal Shrine, bringing faith and the environmental issues together. So first, how nonviolence can help us to get through these difficult times, and how do we approach opposing something like a pipeline? So nonviolence is one of the most basic ethical foundation of yogic teachings. And I believe it really ties to the teachings that we are all one. that everything is a manifestation of divine creation. So how can we be violent to each other if we are one? We're going to that very basic spiritual oneness of all. So the pipeline construction process and operation would pollute the air, water, and the land, which in return will cause great harm to all of us and living creation all around us. I joined Friends of Buckingham and participated in nonviolent protests, rallies, and marches. Everyone kept within that in all the meetings. And our neighbors of African American community for Union Hill, they were doubly impacted by being proposed to have a compressor station that is a very gigantic air polluting infrastructure placed in the middle of their community. We came together to focus on environmental justice issues with them. Washington Post published an article saying, unlike very unlikely alliance between Baptists and yogis, but as we marched together, rallied together, and met together, we found that very universal common value that all faiths share. That is love for one another, for the creation, for families, and our environment. So we became closest friends together. We go to each other's churches and place of worship. We eat together. We have fun together, sing together. So in that way, at least yogis and Baptists and people of other faiths in locality have come together very strongly, and our togetherness will never be broken. So let me move on to what is happening now with the coronavirus issues. What inspires me out of more than anything else to see those frontline people actually, truly, they're the examples of a spiritual strength and faith and love. There's a chaplain in Mount Sinai Hospital who, when she can go in, she will let the patients who are dying know that they don't need to feel to be alone. She would bring a computer and let the patients speak to the families. And also pray if she's not able to go in, really feeling that her prayer will reach the heart of that person. She doesn't care that they believe in God or not. She just wants them to feel loved. And it really shows the importance and greatness of love. That is a very universal energy that keep us going in times like this. And I like to speak now about Karma Yoga, the selfless service. Again, the frontline people. There was a beautiful story about a sanitation worker, a garbage man, who said he loves his job. He is fearful that he may catch it because he gets splashed with things in the garbage. But he says, firemen don't stop serving. Policemen don't stop serving. I cannot stop serving. I love my job. Who will do this job if I quit, if we quit? This is the spirit of selfless service, the sacrifice, and that is so inspiring. And that is what I see also in environmental groups that I have an opportunity and privilege to serve with. They may be employed, some of them, but their spirit is of complete giving. And these are the examples that inspire me to move on with the Atlantic Coast Pipeline. Environmental justice had a great victory. Fourth Circuit Court tossed out the air permit for Union Hill. It was a very rare victory. But the fossil fuel company, they appealed to Supreme Court. And now we are waiting to hear. But you know, whatever happens, the spirit spirit of love for each other, families, and environment. It can never be crushed. We will move on and keep doing in love and faith. And lastly, in surrender to God's will. No matter what is happening, the clarity is that God is still in charge. And there is adversity. Adversity is blessings in disguise. It is very hard to really feel that, but I believe in that. And this is how I move on, knowing that we are in the arms of the great divine. Do I have time to offer closing prayer? One prayer from our Hindu tradition. I've revised it a little bit to offer it to the mother. Karacharana Kritamba, Kaya Jam Kana Jamba, Shravanana Yana Jamba, Mana Samba Paradam, Vihitamba, Savametakshamaswa, Jaya Jaya Karunapte, Shri Mata Shambho, Jaya Jaya Mata Shambho. Please forgive me all my mistakes, O Mother, made by my hands, feet, body, or karma, by my speech, ears, eyes, or by my mind, by intent or through neglect, O Mother. May all glory be unto thee, Divine Mother, sacred ocean of mercy. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Peace, love be unto all. Thank you.
Let's pause for a moment of contemplation. Today is the first day of Ramadan, a holy month for Muslims, nearly 1/4 of the entire world's population. Imam Safet Karavic is a leader of the Islamic Society of North America and is organizing fossil fuel divestment efforts within the Muslim community globally. Imam Karavic.
Thank you, Fletcher, for that kind invitation, and thank you, my dear sisters and brothers, for wonderful inspirational words and guidance during this difficult and challenging time for all of us from your respective faith traditions. Assalamu alaikum and Ramadan Mubarak. Greetings of peace and blessings of Ramadan to all of you online, all citizens of Mother Earth, both human and non-human. It is, and she is, our common home. Inshallah, God willing, beginning this evening at sunset, 1.8 billion Muslims around the world and around the earth will begin their daily fast to commemorate and honor the 9th month of the Islamic Hijri calendar. Lunar calendar, it is lunar calendar. The month of Ramadan for the year 1441 after the Hijrah, the migration of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, and his followers from Mecca to Medina. This is a month in which the revelation of the Holy Quran to the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, began. Through our increased daily recitations of the Quran, prayers and devotions, and daily abstention, siyam, from drink, food, among other things, we associate ourselves with the poor and the needy, the most vulnerable of our human family, whose daily life experience throughout the year is one of hunger and thirst, anxiety, fear. And then we seek to remedy this by sharing the many blessings we have been given from a merciful and a blessed God with them. For it is not just our responsibility, it is their right upon us. Unprecedented this year owing to Corona, ta'un in the Arabic language, pandemic, the associated stay-at-home and lockdown orders, our masajid, our mosques remain closed, including the Kaaba, the sacred house in Mecca. And yet, the earth, though hurting and crying out in pain, remains as she as the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, taught us, al-ard kulluha masjida. The earth, all of her, is a mosque, is a place of prayer and worship. So as we continue to pray and worship her in our homes and not in our houses of worship, the sacred earth, we must also address her pain. We must address her pain by ending our destruction of her habitats and species extinction of our fellow creatures and worshipers, through pollution of her air and waterways and the poisoning of the ground, and through our extracting and burning of fossil fuels, the drivers of global warming and climate change, affecting disproportionately the most vulnerable of us, those least responsible for our eco-sins and our eco-crimes, and then work together to repair her by rebuilding her in a greener way, which is in harmony and in balance with the cosmic order, the natural order as it was, and then to work to repopulate her with all the worshipers, yes, all the worshipers, all creatures great and small, who along with us all belong to the family of God. The Prophet Muhammad said, Al-Khalqu Ayalullah. All of creation are the family of God, and all creatures are the family of God. The best of you are those of you who are best to God's family. In the midst of the Quranic verses on Siyam or fasting, in Surah Al-Baqarah, the chapter of the cow, the second chapter of the Holy Quran, the faithful are reminded, and I'll read this in Arabic as my closing prayer. وَإِذَا سَأَلَكَ عِبَادِي عَنِّي فَإِنِّي قَرِيبٌ أُجِيبُ الدَّعْوَةَ دَاءِ إِذَا دَعَانِ فَلْيَسْتَجِيبُوا لِي وَلِيُؤْمِنُوا بِي لَعَلَّهُمْ يَرْشُدُونَ. And when my servants, worshipers, ask you, Muhammad, concerning me, servants and worshipers include both human and non-human. Indeed, I am near. I respond to the invocation of the supplicant when he calls up or she calls upon me. So let them in turn respond to me by obedience to my call to take care and care for the earth and each other, and believe in me that they may be rightly guided. And let the believers say, Ameen.
Our faiths, our spiritualities, give us the courage to turn towards great challenges and to profoundly change our societies. People of faith and of spirit and of conscience have done so before when there was a moral call to action. And we do so now. This is the time for bold transformation. To join your conscience with others, please add your name to a moral statement to world leaders and major financial institutions using the web address shown on your screen now. Calling on these leaders, as Benki Piako did, to divest from fossil fuels, to invest in a sustainable future. We'll pause while you choose to add your name to this moral call to action. We now close with a reflection by acclaimed civil rights and environmental justice leader, Reverend Leo Woodberry, pastor of Kingdom Living Temple in Florence, South Carolina. Reverend Woodberry.
Happy Earth Day. And it's a great blessing to be here with my colleagues of different faiths, and we all know why we have gathered together. And I'm reminded of a scripture from my faith tradition, Romans chapter 8, verses 22, that says, "We know that the whole creation is groaning as if in the pain of childbirth up to this present time." We know prophecy, science, simple observation. We know we were warned about superbugs, viruses, diseases crossing from the animal kingdom to human beings. We know, we hear the groans of the earth. We hear it in the rushing waters of floods. We hear it in the howling winds of tornadoes and hurricanes. We hear it in the crackling sound of yet another fire in our forests. We know that we need to do something different. We know that we need to renew our ties with our earth and our Creator. We know that we're bound together in a spirit of unity, and that we are at a place in time where we can see a new birth. We see a crowning of and a renewing of our stewardship covenant. We are united in a spirit of love and harmony, and we realize that we must be one, not only with each other in our faith, but with all of the world. And when we do that, then we'll be one with the sun and the wind and the earth. Green faith understands that spirit. Green faith is moving in that spirit and about building relationships with ourselves and with nature and with communities. And at Green Faith, we are doing this at kitchen tables, in congregations, in communities, coming together to make the change and live the change, because the change begins with us. And so we're united in a spirit and understand that this is an opportunity for us to create a new normal, because we know that what was called normal had all kind of abnormal things that were happening both to nature and to us as people. But I believe that there's a call, and that call is heard right now. It's heard in the Buddhist faith, the Jewish faith, the Islamic faith, indigenous faith, the Christian faith. And if you don't belong to any of those faith traditions, then I always like to say that if you believe in touching the intangible, if you can hear the inaudible, if you can believe in a better world, even though you may not be able to see it, faith is the substance of things hoped for. It's the evidence of things not seen. At other times, when humanity in the world has gone through turmoil and tragedy and pain as we are now, it has been people of faith who have risen up and taken that opportunity not only to care, but also to build resilience. And is that call of faith that we're making right now to care for one another, to care for communities, to care for our beloved Mother Earth. Thank you.
Thank you, and peace be with you.